Are you looking for an attacker main that you can use for every Rainbow Six Siege rank game? Well, funnily enough, many Rainbow Six Siege experts and myself both recommend that you shouldn't actually pick just one operator to main. Instead, here are 5 Rainbow Six Siege attackers that you need to learn to start ranking up. And I believe that I'm qualified to talk about this topic because I am. Right now, my stats are looking so good, but I have hit champ before in console. PC, I don't really play a lot, but I am also level 208, so I have quite a bit of experience on this game. But anyways, guys, let's indulge into this video. Alright guys, so for number 5, we have Dokkaebi, arguably one of the most best attackers in R6 at the moment. But yeah, so you're really gonna want to be learning Dokkaebi because she's a really good intel op. She has 2 calls, as you can see in the corner of my screen. They do take time to load, but they're very helpful utility. So let me tell you a bit about Dokkaebi. So first of all, she has a DMR, which is really good for like quickly breaking barricades like that. She has a SMG-12, which is basically the best gun in the game if you learn how to control it. I'm on PC right now, so I can't really control recoil good, but on controller, not too hard. But once you get the SMG-12 down, it's really just like headshot machine. But yeah, what makes Dokkaebi really strong, however, is her 2 calls, which she charges up every 45 seconds. So she gets a call at 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the action phase, and then 1 minute and 30 into the action phase. And what these calls do is once you call, all attackers will basically be ringing. You guys already know, probably most of you guys watching this probably already know the utility. But yeah, these calls. Now, in order to use her calls, you want to be hearing out like where enemies are. So it really like comes down to sound. But like, say if you're pushing like the trophy door, let's say there's like a attacker or a defender holding attic, maybe one game, maybe one on this pixel peak. So you could call behind this door right here. Also, notice how I immediately stopped the animation at the end of her call. And to do this, all you have to do is just press the button you used to call again once the bar is fully filled. And if you're really good at distinguishing sound, then you should be able to hear each and every single one of them. And even maybe if someone's coming flank, she's also good for like watching out for flank because you know the defender's coming flank, their phone's gonna go off as well. So overall, Dokkaebi's a really good intel op. You want to be using her calls when you have a lack of information. Maybe both of your drones are broken, or you think there's multiple defenders on you, because in that case, all their phones will be going off at once. And after you call their phone, I suggest like you could maybe like isolate your one-on-one gunfight. So say if you hear someone attic, but you also hear someone game, maybe they're like holding this attic pixel peak. You could use their calls to like pre-fire and isolate 1v1. So my positioning right here, I'm only positioned to attic, but the person game can't shoot me. And this will only be able to work because the Dokkaebi calls since you can hear them. So basically what I'm just trying to say is call and if you're good enough at hearing, you can try to pre-fire the enemies that you hear off the call. Also, another thing to keep in mind with Dokkaebi is that when you call, the attackers can hang up the call, or the defenders can hang up the call. So if you want to keep that in mind, maybe you could catch defenders off guard by calling, maybe waiting a second, peeking out angles, and if you don't see anyone peeking, there's a high chance that they're hanging up the phone. So that would be the perfect time to push, since they won't be able to attack you while they're hanging up the phone. But yeah, that's basically how you use Dokkaebi. Really good intel op, and it's definitely going to be a attacker that you want to learn because she's arguably the best intel op. I mean, all you have to do is just call their phone, and you know exactly where they are. Alright, that's all for Dokkaebi, and let's get on with the next attacker. Alright guys, the next attacker that you want to be learning here is Ace, and the reason why you want to be learning Ace is because he's arguably, nah, actually, I wouldn't even say arguably. I would say he's the best hard breacher in the game at the moment. So right now, there's only 4 hard breachers. There's Maverick, which she's very situational. Habana, which she's only really good for getting hatches. Thermite, which he's good for getting walls, but only probably walls outside because he's very weak once he's placing his thermites on the wall. So he's probably good in like walls where you could safely place thermites, which is also situational. And then you have Ace, which is the most versatile hard breacher in the game. And now what makes Ace so good is that you can throw his hard breaches or his Selmas from very far away. So say if I want to get the main wall on Oregon second floor, I can actually throw my Selmas from all the way over here, and it gets walled just like that. And it's really important that Ace could throw hard breaches from far away, unlike most other hard breachers, because say if you're like Thermite, you have to come up to the wall and place a hard breach on here, and there's a very high chance that you might either like get C4, maybe a roamer can come up to you and kill you. So when Ace uses his breach charges, he could be pretty safe when he throws it from afar, which sets him out from other hard breachers. But yeah, every time when Ace uses one of his hard breaches, they're vaultable. And what you need to be learning about how to use Ace is basically the levels that you need to place the Ace charges. So you saw right here, I placed this Ace charge head level, but you're not always gonna want to put an Ace charge head level. Like right here, it's good to peeking around. But if you want to like get through the breach, it's not really a good idea to just vault through it. So what I suggest you do is either number one, placing Ace charge right here, and what that will do is that will make it walkable, the breach, so like a thermite. So as you can see right here, I can now walk through the breach. Or instead, you could place an Ace charge crouch level, and you'll know how down you have to put it when you play more of Ace. And as you can see, you can crouch through the breach like that. And Ace really does like his job the best, I think, in hard breaching. I mean, you can make walkable breaches, you can make crouchable breaches, and you can also throw them from very far away. So Ace is definitely the best hard breacher, probably the hard breacher you're going to want to learn. He also has a really good gun, the AK-12, not a lot of recoil. It's actually one of the only guns I can control on PC, funnily enough. So yeah, not a lot of recoil, AK-12, really good fire rate, really good damage. He has breach charges or claymores, which you can use to make rotates and such, just like that. And yeah. And one more secret tip for Ace that you guys probably want to know when playing Ace is that if you want to like open a wall that's like way bigger than this, which isn't really necessary, but like, you know, to replace the role as thermite, there's something called Ace tricking. So what you do is that you place an Ace charge like right below here. So assume that this is a reinforced wall. You place an Ace charge below, and you place an Ace charge above, so that like the wall is like floating basically above and below. You gotta place it high and low enough, and then that'll make the reinforced wall soft, so you could place, well, probably not your breach charge, because then your feet will get shot since this will be broken, but maybe like bring an ash or a sledge or a buck, and this wall will be soft after you do that, so you can just breach it and it'll make that big hole right there. So that's a little trick you could do with Ace. So definitely Ace is very important. You always want to bring a hard breacher every game, and Ace is definitely going to fill the role for most of the time. The only time I would suggest not to bring Ace is if you need to get the hatches, because his Selmas do take up like a reinforced hatch. They take 2, which isn't really good, but other than that, Ace is probably the hard breacher you want to bring, so he's definitely important to learn. Alright guys, the third op that you want to learn to play in order to rank up is Ram. Now the reason why you want to be learning Ram is because she's probably the best operator in order to play Vert. And so let me show you what that is. So first of all, if you didn't know already, Ram can instantly break barricades, just like that. You can pick it up back up. And the reason why Ram is so good at playing Vert compared to other operators like Buck, Sledge, or any other ones is that you could just place your Ram down and whichever direction you want to go, let's just say here, and it makes it like, it's just remote controlled, so you don't need to go buy your Ram. It just makes a long line of Vert. Unlike other operators like Buck and Sledge, where like you kind of, I mean Buck not really, but like his holes can like kind of be weird if you make it from afar. But Sledge and Buck, you kind of need to make the holes close. and when you do that, you like could get shot. But with RAM, you could just make multiple lines of vert. Like say if I want to make lines of vert on the kitchen site, first floor in Oregon, I could just put a RAM right there, and then it makes that whole line. And I could put a RAM right here, and it makes that line. I could stay away, careful for any C4s that might come, or careful from any defenders that try to shoot me. Or while my ram's going off, just in case any defenders try to flank, I can hold them off while my ram is making vert. So yeah, ram is definitely one of the best ops for playing vert. You're gonna want her if like you're in those sites that are like little entrances, such as like maybe theme park's throne room, where it's really hard to push, and it can increase a lot of attacker pressure if you play from on top. So right here you can see like holes, like common angles. Maybe even if you could get a attacker to plant over there in that corner, hold them off. But yeah, playing vert is really helpful in order to rank up. You got to start doing it more, and Ram is that operator that you need in order to start playing vert. Alright guys, for the fourth operator you need to learn is Grim. Now this one is a more underrated pick, I would say. But Grim has definitely been seeing some spotlight recently, especially in Pro League. And not a lot of people actually use this, so this attacker is definitely underrated. And the reason why you guys need to learn how to use Grim in order to rank up is that he's a really good operator for map control. And let me show you how. So, Grim has 5 Bs that you can shoot out his canister. You guys probably already know how it works. Single shot, bounce shot, you can ricochet off walls. And what these Bs do is that they cover up like line or like areas of the map, and when the attackers go on Bs, they get live pinged, and even if the defenders just hit the Bs and go outside, they still get pinged 5 times in like what, 3 seconds. So these Bs are really good at providing intel, but what sets out these Bs, what sets out Grim from like other intel ops, which I already did tell you guys that Dokkaebi is someone you're gonna want to learn. What makes Grim different is that his job isn't really to get intel, but to hold areas of the map. So let me show you what I mean. Say someone's holding right here, like this kid's pixel, like this pixel peak right here. Now with Grim, you could get them off this pixel peak by using your canister. So like, say if you just like quick peek this, so boom. As you can see right here, the Bs are going to be in the defender's way, and if the defender's holding this, they're just going to be live pinged, and from there, you could just pre-fire them. And in the 5v5 scenario, you could just cover map control, so boom, that angle covered, that angle covered, that angle covered. And as you can see, look how much of the map I took from just 3 canisters. You have 5, by the way. So Grim overall is a really good map control op. You can also set Beast for flank. They last a pretty long time actually. I think like 20 seconds. I think like 15 seconds. So if you're trying to push and you're scared about the flank, you could quickly place a B to be there for like 15 seconds and then push the site. So overall, you're going to be wanting to use Grim for map control, and also if you could save some Bs for the post plant scenario. And anytime when a defender hits a B, I mean, it's basically a free kill. So, yeah, overall, Grim, you're going to want to use him for map control, maybe post plants, even, like, if you're playing, like, above a hatch, because he could bring hard breaches. You could, like, cover the lines of sight. So, if I was breaking this hatch right here, I would probably place a Grim B right here, probably bounce one over there to upset the defenders, and over there. And then I could drop down, and the only angle I have to worry about, since I covered with the Bs with this and with this, only angle I have to worry about is over here where defenders might be. And then, like, say if you don't even want to peek it because you're not confident in your gun skill, just place a B canister right there, ricochet it off here, and it'll cover this map control as well. So yeah, overall, probably the best map control operator, Grim. Also underrated, so you're probably going to be able to play him a lot since not a lot of people play Grim. Has a decent gun, high damage, kind of slow fire rate, but you can make up for it in headshots. And also the bailiff to make rotates. But yeah. Alright, let's head off to the last op that you guys need to learn. Alright guys, so the last operator that you guys need to learn how to use is Flores. Now this one is probably the most controversial one because Flores right now, because out of all the attackers here, Flores is probably Probably the most complex one, I would say, and that's probably why a lot of people don't use them in ranked compared to stuff like Pro League. But boy, do I have sauce for you guys, cause I used to use Flores a lot. I still could use some I still use them a decent amount, so I got a lot of Flores tech that I need to show you guys in order to properly utilize Flores. But first of all, let me just go over why you need to learn Flores. He's one of the best anti-gadget operators in the game, which means that you could break a lot of utility with the Flores drones. Uh, and you're going to be wanting to use them like in situations where there's a lot of utility that you need to break. So for example, if you're going Oregon basement, bottom blue, bunker, whatever you call this place, there's probably going to be like Jaegers here, probably deployable shield, maybe even a mirror. Now while Flores can't clear mirrors, which Ubisoft, if you're watching this, please make it so that Flores can break mirrors. I greatly appreciate it. But what Flores can do is you can safely use your drone, which lasts 10 seconds, and you could break any basically most utilities since his drones explode. So Jaegers, you could get them off, and remember you have 4 of these drones, so you could just use one for the Jaegers or anything that's on that wall, Malusi, Fenrir, anything. And you can use one for the deployable shield. I mean, you could destroy a whole lot of utility with Flores drones. And only really counters to them I could think of off the top of my head are Mozzie Pests, which can easily be destroyed. Mute Jammers, which can't easily be destroyed, but if you look to the side, then you could destroy them. And I think that's really it for the counters for Flores. So he's definitely going to be one of the best anti-gadgets in the game. He also has a lot of tech that you could do with his drones that can get you kills, even. So let's just say, for example, there's a defender right here, and I'm behind this pillar. What you could do with Flores drones to get kills is not jumping using your Flores. I see people do this. For some reason, they'll go on their Flores drone, they see a defender there, and they'll just bring their Flores drone to explode right there in like an attempt to kill. Now it's not a bad idea to like put a Flores drone and like cover like that place for map control, kind of like how Grim does. But if you're just gonna be using your Flores drones to try to explode them and get kills with them, that's not how that works. What you need to be using Flores if you want to get kills with it is you deploy it like here. Let's just say that defender's where I pinged before. You could get off your drone, it'll keep moving, and the defender right here is going to see the Flores drone. They're going to go down to shoot it, but since you got off the Flores drone, you can swing off the Flores drone and kill them. And not a lot of people know about that trick, so you'll be surprised about how much people get caught off guard by that. So while they're shooting the Flores drone, you could just swing them. Their crosshair placement will be messed up, and it's a free kill for you all the time. But yeah, there's also variations to this. So say if someone knows the trick, like you already did it to them or something, then you could pretend like you're fake Flores droning. They're just gonna look past it, and then you can either cover that line of sight, so they have to rotate, or what you could do is you could just destroy any utility that's nearby. Like say if a defender was like covering, like trying to protect a piece of utility. I can't think of one on top of my head. Actually, like a deployable shield, say, like over here. Say if there's like a deployable shield here and the defender like knew the trick. What you can do is you could let the Flores drone roll. They won't shoot it, thinking that you're trying to fake them out. And then last second, you could just explode it. And you just successfully pass the Flores drone past the defender by tricking them. So overall, there's a lot of Flores tricks. There's actually one more that I want to show you guys. There's probably even more that I don't even know about. And you could probably find that out yourself from just, you know, exploring. But yeah, let me show you this trick. So it's really unlikely that like there's gonna be bandit tricking the attic wall. But just as an exemplar, I want to show you guys. So what Flores can do right here, so say if there's just like a defender playing up there, maybe hypothetically speaking, maybe a bandit tricking. You could place this like on other soft walls where the roof is also soft. If you want to like break pieces of utility or like upset the defender's positioning. What you could do is you could put punch holes here. So one like on crouch level, I would say. And then one like on head level, I would say. And let's see if I can get this first try. So you place your Flores drone, and what you could do is you could jump on these punch holes like this. You saw how I jumped on it, and then go on the roof, and the Flores drone will literally explode on the soft roof. And that explosion is actually powerful enough to kill a defender, funnily enough. So, I mean, Bandit doesn't usually trick on these walls, but if he was, he would be dead right there. So, yeah, you could basically use your Flores drone to literally explode the roof, kind of like maybe an Ash Charger Buck. And since it's a Flores drone, it could basically destroy any utility need be. But yeah, I'm also pretty sure that in the defender's POV, I'm not sure. If you guys want to test this on your own, I'm not sure if like they could see the Flores indicator, like when it's blowing up the roof. I would assume so, because if not, that would be like easy kills and be OP. Kind of reminds me of like the good old days when cook grenades. But yeah. So you can use that Flores tech on any soft wall where there's also a soft roof, like right here. So this is probably a better example of like cutting off defender positioning instead of like breaking utility. You could just go over here, jump on the punch holes, which aren't actually that hard to jump on, and then boom, and you'll be exploding right here the kid's pixel peak, so they can no longer hold this pixel peak if one of your teammates are pushing trophy, or you want to push trophy, and you could just apply that pressure right there, right then and there. And yeah, so overall, Flores has a lot of tricks. He's one of the best operators for destroying gadgets. He has 4 of them, so use them to your best ability. And remember, try not to go for Flores kills, but instead go for utility. Like as you can see over here, if you want to destroy the bandits, or maybe if there's like a Cade, you can use that Flores trick, shoot the Cade from below. But yeah. But yeah, that's basically all the attackers that I want to show you guys that you guys must learn. And if you guys realize on my list, you guys could see that there's an attacker for every single category of what you're going to need. So for example, you have Flores, who's an anti-gadget, really good for destroying utility. You had Dokkaebi, which is the best operator for intel, which you're going to need when you have a lack of intel ops on your team and you want to like either roam clear defenders, or just, you know, if you're solo queuing and you don't have a lot of information, you could just push site with Dokkaebi. And then you have Grim, which is really good for map control, holding off areas of the map. Really good like team op that you can use, maybe even use for post plants. Overall, just really good map control operator. And then you had Ace, who's one of the best hard breachers. Even though he's kind of situational, he's only really situational. He's really just used in every situation other than hatches, I would say. So you probably always want to be bringing an Ace. And he could get those walls easily and from afar, so that's safe. And then the other operator I showed you guys was Ram, and you're gonna be wanting to use it for Vert, where you could deploy multiple Vert at once, and then decide which Vert you want to peek to avoid getting C4'd or shot unexpectedly. But yeah, so that's all the operators, and I did tell you guys I slightly told you guys how to use them, but you guys will find out how to use them more, like learn how to use them, whether you like search up videos on your own, or you just, you know, learn how to use them through playing them more. But definitely those 5 operators you're gonna want to start using more. You're gonna want to learn how to use them, and even though it is recommended that you guys learn how to use other operators too, if you guys just want to learn 5 ops, you know, just in case like 4 of them are taken, you're always going to have another one to use. If you just learn those 5 ops, I mean, you're basically set for life. So yeah, definitely learn those ops if you guys want to rank up in R6. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys subscribe, like it up to support the channel. And let me know in the comments, if you guys disagree with any of my takes, or definitely like support underrated options that I presented today. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.